So we have three work centers: the consolidation area, quality, and packing. So the important point we discuss, the work centers should have the work centers or the staging area or those should be assigned to a storage type in the background because we need bins in those areas. Yeah.
So what we creating starting with? Sorry, can you come back again? Sorry, no. Yeah.
We are creating work centers now.
Work center. Okay.
One question. Sorry to interrupt. This work center at the production area, we don't have any work center. But
we don't have. Yeah.
Based on the process,
that is a different work center. The production ones. That is a production work center. This is a warehousing work center.
Fine.
Okay, so I'll just copy this and change the description. 8030. Yeah. And I'll also change the storage type assignment. Sorry, the work center name is pack and the storage type is 8030. Oh, work center name is not pack, work center name is VERP. And here you can see it is assigned to storage type. I'll change the storage type to 8030 and not maintain any section because we said we'll not have section for anything apart from 8003. So there are other indicators in the packing work center. Okay, it's better now. So we have external step important field. You have printing related settings. We have what activities you are going to do in that area and how packing should be allowed and disallowed. So there are some settings related to packing here. We'll revisit them once we start storage control, where we are going to start the packing activity. Okay.
This when we go in a configuration step, please let it go slow. Actually.
Okay.
We are unable to recollect.
No problem. So we have just created packing work center, and I was mentioning we have storage type. We discussed a work center is assigned to a storage type. Then there are some more settings here related to printing. There are some settings which will allow packing for certain products and disallow for certain products in a work center. So all these settings we'll revisit when we are doing the actual packing.
In that you said that in inbound section you said that we don't have the section, right?
Yeah,
we don't have the section, but there can be a multiple section. Johan, there can be a scenario where within the storage type there can be a multiple section. So this section is the same section what we have created for the storage type.
We've just created section for 80.
Yeah,
but it's the same section.
It is the same section. Okay.
So if you have different sections then
the work center will differ.
No, if you have different different work centers, then you can decide, from which section. So basically, if you can have a setup in a work center like this. Where is my unit 2? No, I lost it. So you may have a setup like this. You may have unit. Sorry. You may have inbound work center like this. You may have an inbound section, and then you may have several others. You may have several other sections here where you are going to do the actual inspection or actual packing, and then there'll be an outbound section. So basically, you take the part here, take it to the relevant work center, do that relevant station, do that, and send the material back to the outbound section. So the person who is bringing the part, he'll drop it here. The person who's going to take the part will take it from here. And then there can be several, workstations where the actual activity can be performed.
Okay. So that was inbound and outbound section.
Yes. So quality, we will change the storage type to 8020. And for now, we'll not change anything else. You can see there is step, there's process type. We will come back to those. All right. So we come back to this the config now. We will save the storage type. The work center name is, what is the work center name?
Which one is 8020?
8020.
Which one
is this? Called quality.
Quality. Okay, quality.
QINS. Yeah.
Quality.
And then, we don't have a deconsolidation work center in standard. You can see all the Y ones provided by SAP. There's no deconsolidation. Deconsolidation is like a packing in the inbound area. So I'll kind of copy the packing work center and I'll say DKO, deconsolidation. And this is storage type 8010.
The repack WPT, what is warehouse process type?
So when you do a repacking in the work center, this process type is picked up. Okay. So now we have created the work centers. Before we go and create the the doors and the staging area, you can see here, I don't have names for them because, we will do it right now. So
Just do, because each storage type will have multiple bins, right?
Mhm.
So do you assign multiple? So would there be could be a valid scenario where I have a workstation? I've got big bin, big aisle, and big lot of bins there. So
Mhm.
do I assign that final allocation, that bin 5, 6, 1, 2, 3 will
Yeah,
work? You
there
do that as well. There will
there'll be
be
an assignment to bin to a work
bin as well.
center.
Oh,
There'll be a default bin, and then you can also select bin where you want to move it.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. In terms of doors and staging area, I would like you to understand. We'll decide what names we are going to use. And what I want you to understand is some basics here about how doors and staging areas are named in SAP. So, for example, these are my staging areas and these are my doors here.
When you saying staging area, you're talking about the GR zone from your.
Yeah, those GR zones are basically, it's a basic one, but we may have several doors and staging area in that
Sure.
area. So let's say we create some staging areas here. Let me quickly take the naming convention from here. DRO1. Let's say the doors are created as DRO1 for inbound, outbound, DO second door, third door. So let's say we create 3 doors for inbound, 3 for outbound, 1, 2. Okay. Then we also need some staging area. I'll just quickly take the naming convention from here. Okay, never mind. I'll just take some naming convention. We'll change it if required. So here, the staging area is inbound staging area is 9010. Okay. So basically, you need to understand one thing here. There are 3 terms here in staging areas. Okay. First term in staging area is staging area group. The other is staging area, and the third one is staging bay or staging bin. Okay. Now the storage type is actually a staging area group. If you remember, I was telling you that the role for the work center is staging area group or work center with staging area group. So in the role itself, you say so for storage type, we say storage type it's a staging area group. Okay. So the staging area is actually the section in that storage type. So this is section 1. So we create a section 1, section 2, section 3. Okay. Same way we can have 3 sections for inbound. So this is not section. This is called as staging area 1 for staging area group 9010. Okay, so staging area, so section is equal to staging area group equals to storage type. Okay, it's nothing but storage type. Staging area is nothing but storage section, and staging bay is nothing but it's a storage bin. Okay, so this you can, the next config which I'm going to show you, where I'm going to define these staging areas, there you will see that system is calling storage section as the storage section as a staging area. So don't get confused. Basically, it is getting divided. It is basically the whole storage type is divided into section. So the storage type is called as staging area group. The section is called as staging area, and the bins are called as staging bays. So what I can do here is, for example, 90, my bin here name would be 9010. Oh, staging area 1. Okay. I'll say it's 0001, bin 01. This I can create. So I may have 3 bins here. Okay.
And is it again 18 character limit or
Yeah, 18, all the bins.
all the bits 18 character?
So these are my bins which I'll be creating. So for example, if I have to create staging area for here, so I have total 9 bins in inbound, 9 bins in outbound. So during our process, we'll discuss, how these bins can be used. Okay. So for which process, for which scenario we need a bin 1, for which one we need bin 2, or bin is business, bin are basically different loads. Basically, you want a staging area to be different. So for example, inbound, anything which comes from external plant, let's say it goes to the staging area. So this bin is full, it will go for another bin, it will go for another bin. If the staging area is completely full, then it will go for another staging area. Okay. In outbound, it can be like, we give this staging area and door to FedEx. Okay. And they always come there at 5 p.m. and we, load the stock from the staging area onto the door. Or there is a route here, separate staging area for a separate route. And then you load stock from that staging area onto the door. So staging area is nothing but storage section. Okay. So now we need to create storage section in this storage type 9010 and 9020. Okay. So I'm going to do that now.
Sorry to interrupt. So all configuration coming under master data, right?
Yes. This section is inbound. I'll say inbound staging area 1, inbound staging area 2, inbound staging area 3, outbound staging area 1, outbound staging area, outbound staging area 3.
In the staging area, then the section becomes somewhat like a mandatory, right? If we have to use that.
Yes. But if you are just creating one bin like ZaranTech, then you don't need that. But
you don't need that.
Yeah, but you're creating multiple bins, then yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now let me create this bins also quickly. Yeah. Staging base. So this one 9010-01-01 9010 section 001. I will maybe I'll do it offline. The other bins are almost created same way just to save time. These are 18 bins. I will create the other bins. Okay. So these are the 3 bins I've created for now. Okay. So now let's go to the configuration where we create the staging area. Now, if you understand this assignment, what is staging area, group, storage type, and section and bin, the next config is pretty much straightforward. So if you come here, staging areas, define staging area. So you come here and say new, might have, okay, we have not, it will have standard SAP thing. So say our staging area group is 9010, storage type, staging area is 1. We are going to do GR here, right? We have different activities we are doing. We'll check both here.
So we don't define the staging area group initially before we come to here.
We have created storage type, right? That is staging area group itself. Based on that role, system will pick it up.
Because we defined the role as door.
Exactly, yeah. No, role as staging area.
Staging area, not a door. Door is different.
Door, we haven't gone to the door yet.
Okay. But that is 9030. Yeah, but there was a role connection. I remember that. Okay, just picking attributes from there. Local role.
So there was another node before that to define a staging area group. So that was just an optional one, or if we want to change something, we can do that.
1 minute, let me finish this. Yeah. So here you can say loading can start when the alert has arrived. Loading can start, as soon as the pallet has arrived. We don't wait for all the pallets to come and then we load, because some pallets may be under picking. We could start loading.
And what are the other options, like 2 and 3?
That you have to wait until everything has been staged, or you wait for some time, 24 hours to pass.
The condition, yeah.
Where is staging area group?
So it's a storage type group.
The
define storage type group.
4 step above where you are right now. Define storage type group.
After storage section, there's a defined storage type group.
That is different.
Okay, I'll just leave it here.
So now we go to the door. So now door, we'll again create it as new. WH34 DRI1. Direction is inbound. We maintain the default staging area as only those storage types are shown here, which have a group of staging area group. So I'm going to say 9010 and the staging area is 1. So this is default for that door. Okay.
But then what did you define 9030 previously?
9030.
Storage type. When you define the storage type, you define one storage type 9030.
Correct.
That was the role door
to this door.
Okay. Assignment. So that was
this is a staging area.
So default staging area. Just remind me, what was that default staging area? The second last one.
Each door will have its own staging area default. So a truck is planned at that door. The pallets will be taken to the staging area. So just imagine if you have 15-20 doors. If your truck is going to come at door 10, we need a pallet at staging area 10, not at staging area 1.
One question here: if the default storage area stock is not available, how the system is available?
1 minute. I don't get confused. See, if your truck is coming here, And if the pallet is, this is outbound. If the truck is going to come here, and if I put the parts in the staging area, so let's say there is space in all the bins, which one should be preferred? This bin should be preferred because it's closer to the door. So this staging area is preferred for this door. It's a default one. Always system should look for bin here adjacent to that door. So each door have their default areas. So there's no, it's not an efficient process if this place is empty and we're putting the stock here. It's an extra bit of travel for loading. It will be like a crisscross. People will.
So what was in column J, G, and J? Can you give the header on top of that, please?
Column
J and G. So this is 0001, 000. So this is.
Tell me what is this?
That's what I'm. That's what I'm confused.
Give a try. It's staging. It's basically
staging area.
Staging area.
Outbound.
This is staging area group. This was a title.
Yeah.
If that's confusing you, I'll change it. Yeah. Let's say this is. I'll just put a title here, outbound. Okay, and I'll change the title here to inbound. Okay, so the whole storage type is staging area group, and these are staging areas. And these are
these are the section, right? What we have done.
Yeah, staging area is equal to section.
Section, yeah.
So the default storage staging area. See, what is the purpose of maintaining default staging area? The unnecessary the confusion occurs, right? So if the particular staging area stock is not available, the truck reaching that location.
See, there is a difference. Default is not mandatory. If these bins are full, it will look for a bin nearby.
Okay.
If the truck is coming here, if this bin is full, concern is if I'm giving default, my staging will fail, right?
Yes.
No, it will look for other default. It's not mandatory. It's not a one-to-one assignment. It's a default that propose this. It is not available. It will look for other places. Don't worry.
No, see, is a mandatory. Based on the default staging area, the truck will locate there, or how it is? Not like that, right?
No, it's not like that. The staging area will be based on the availability. The bin will be based on the availability. The default, the system will always try here. If there are no bins available, system will look for another staging area.
Okay, fine.
Hey, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Based on the picking strategy, we have the picking strategy rules and other thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, we created staging areas. We created doors.
And can you go to the bin one more time, please? You have already created the bins, right?
Yeah.
Can we? In the bin, did we assign something for the staging area? No.
No, it's like a normal bin. We just maintain storage type and section.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember this table? Then it's pretty straightforward.
Sorry to interrupt. One question, small question. So actually, maybe it's not related to this our EWM. In WM, we have the two kind of bins, right? One for standard bins, another one for dynamic. See, dynamic bin concepts available in EWM?
No.
Okay, fine.
No dynamic bins in EWM. So we'll take a pause here. Any questions on? We're going to start a new structure element. Any questions on doors, staging area, and work centers? You just have just on the definition. Will you be able to create them for your warehouse? We don't need to, understand everything, but at least you should be able to create them so that when we start executing the process, we have the data ready, the structure ready. So are you all okay with those staging areas and work centers now?
Yes, Yogan. Well explained. Thanks for the help. Well explained and understood very clear. As of now,
we'll give it a go. Yeah. If not, then I'm sure I'll come back, but we'll give it a go.
Yeah, no problem. I can come back later. So the only confusing bit is this to this assignment. If you this is there in your mind, this config will also make sense, and you'll understand the entire structure. Okay. Now let's talk about activity areas. So I like to explain this with making some group of files. So give me 2 minutes. I will draw some aisles here for a storage type. Okay. And we'll make some scenarios. So this is one aisle. Top view of a storage type.
Yogan, one request. See, when you explain all these individual topics, see, if you add as a flavor as a real-time business scenario, that would be good.
That see, let's. I'll do that as in we make progress. This is a data setup now, so we'll come back to that.
Yeah, thank you.
So here we have a storage type and we have aisles. Okay. And if you remember, we gave names to the aisles, like we said aisle O1, aisle O2, aisle O3, right? So let's say this is my storage type 8001. These are the aisles in that storage type. I'm not going at stack and level, just at aisle level. Okay. Now, basically here we have different zones or different. Okay, first let me define what is activity area. Activity area is grouping of bins. Okay, it's a logical grouping of bins. Okay, so I can group any bin and create an activity area. Okay, so I can say this bin and I can create an activity area just for this bin. I can create activity area just for this bin. I can create an activity area for all the storage types of the bin. I can create an activity area for and assign all the bins of my warehouse to that activity area. So compared to WM, what we have here, the bins are assigned to an activity area. Okay, so what it does basically, it gives us flexibility in the work allocation and creating a dedicated zone for a person to work into. So for example, you might have noticed, as compared to WM, those who have worked in WM, this is a new tab here, activity area. So basically, before we start scenarios or even in production, before we start, this is mandatory master data that the storage bins should be assigned to an activity area. Okay. So how we do that, we are going to cover that now. So the bins that we have created few bins. Over the weekend, I'll create a lot of bins for the warehouse and also for the staging area. But for those bins, whatever bins you've created, they need an activity area. A lot of controls from the storage type have been moved to activity area. So WM, there were many controls like queues and many things in WM. We haven't seen those objects yet. So we have a control like this is defined at activity area level. This config is defined at storage type level. So many of those configurations and master data are now, or I would sort of say master data, like printing condition records, for example, that's the master data. Then the settings that we do, like assignment of bin to a work center or determining a staging bay, things like this. We do a lot of determination master data. So all those places you will see work center. The activity area is used rather than a storage type. So basically, a lot of controls, a lot of settings from storage type have moved to activity area level. That gives us the flexibility. So if it is entire storage type, it becomes very rigid. I want a different behavior, a different print for these three aisles. I don't have any other option. If there is no activity area, I have to create a separate storage type for this and create a different print condition for that. Okay, but with activity area, the storage type remains same, and you can do your own grouping for some activity. So I'm going to give you some very simple example of picking. How generally picking is done in warehouse and how we use activity areas in a warehouse. Okay, so for now, high level definition before we understand one of its application. It's a grouping of bins. Bins should be assigned to activity areas. Bin assignment to activity area is important because a lot of controls have moved from storage type to activity area level. It's a mandatory master data basically. So here, let's say we have a GR zone here. Okay, so this is my GR zone storage type. Okay, let's take a very simple example. This is GR zone, and the stock comes from GR zone into the bins, Okay, this is my inbound area. And then from there, let's say this is my GI zone. Very simple. Let's say like a very simple setup. This is my GI zone. Like this is a place where, or staging area, outbound staging area. So let's say we have very simple warehouse. Stock comes from here, gets stored here. Then from here, it goes here. Okay. Like a depot, very small depot. Okay. Now here in this depot, there are people working in the depot. Let's say we have said he's working in these two aisles. He's responsible to work for these two aisles. Okay. So Sid's job is that he has to, whenever the picking comes, I'm talking about picking at the moment. Okay. At the moment, we are only talking about picks. On we'll come to put away as well. So Sid's job is to take the parts from these two aisles, put it into a GI area. Sid is doing picking into these aisles. Kabir's job is to pick stock from these two aisles. Now this is very fast moving. What we don't need is the same person working in all the aisles. It will take a lot of time and a lot of movements. So dedicated pickers are assigned to each group of files. So there is a space between these two files. So he goes there, picks part from here, picks part from here, here, and then he drops it here. Okay. So so let's say this is Sid's movement. Okay. Sid basically moves from here. This is his direction of travel. Then this is how he travels, and he comes to the GI zone, drops it, goes back. And then this is Kabir's movement. Yeah, he comes in, drops it here, goes back, and then maybe it's Shiva's movement. He comes in, drops in, and so basically, we have created group or zones for, or we call them as different warehouses. Users will call them different ways. When we go for, a discussion, some may call it as, they will say it's a pick area, some may say it's a zone, some may say, it's activity area is what we call it in SAP world. Okay. So work allocation area, something or the else, people will say. So let's say we have these 6 and then, okay. So now this is the work area. Okay. Different work areas. So Sid's work area, I'm going to create this as S001. So that is nothing but activity area S001. Kabir's a K0. Shiva's a S001. Yeah. So now these are activity areas. So as the name suggests, first let us list on what are the activities. We are at the moment, we have various warehousing activities. At the moment, we are talking about picking. So we are focused only for picking. So we have created areas for, this is to further define it, we'll say pick activity area. Okay.
But then Shiva's cannot be A is S001, right? Conceptually.
Why?
So then there'll be same activity area assigned to both.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, my bad. I realize it should be, let me say SI.
Yeah.
Just give me a touchpad is not working. Give me 1 minute. Let me connect my mouse.
Is this activity area is only used for work allocation? Because conceptually, I can use that. I can create just one storage location and I can work based on the activity areas only. Or is it just purely for work allocation?
It's for work allocation. So you cannot. Yeah, there are other benefits also, but for now, let's talk about work allocation. Okay, we will slowly explore the other ones. So here,
one question here. See, I'm a little confused actually. What is the difference between activity area and work center?
What is this? What do you see a similarity between them? I don't see anything is similar because work center, what we said, what is the definition of work center? We do packing, we do quality, we do any validated service activity in those areas. And this is picking. We are doing picking over here. So we are not doing any validated service activity. This is warehousing activity we are doing.
That is process.
Yeah, warehouse team is supposed to do these activities, put away, picking, replenishment.
Oh, this activity area based on the warehouse process, warehouse activity.
This is warehouse activity. That is validated service activity to support your primary activities.
Oh, that is actually the warehouse center involves the process. Okay, got it.
So basically, we have 6 important activities in a warehouse. One is picking, put away, replenishment, internal. We have, come on, what's wrong with my touchpad? Give me a minute. Stay here, please. So here we have these areas. So now what I have created activity areas for picking, right? I have created 3 activity areas for picking. Oblique K, oblique SI. Since I don't have space, I just maintain here like this. Okay. So now, for example, you'll say, okay, this is how my storage type works. Let's say we don't have, I7 here. Just give me 1 minute. Let me.
Nathan, your screen is not visible. It's very small.
Yeah, I know. My
Yeah,
touchpad is
yeah, sorry.
behaving abruptly. So just give me a minute. Not even able to connect my mouse.
In theory, activity area, would that be very similar to what you got in IKEA? So you got zone A, B, hello?
Sorry.
No, I'm just asking, said something just for understanding.
Okay.
In IKEA, they have this zone.
Well, it's a different Kabir. It's not. It's not the same. It's the basically what Ron is saying, like the picking and like what you do when you go to IKEA and you look at the aisle and you pick up your product, right?
You go for zone, right? It will have a
So
zone.
you look. They don't have the zoning concept. They have the aisle concept in IKEA. Basically, they have a designated area, and you are not restricted. But here, it's a little bit different. What we are looking. So don't compare.
Okay.
So now this grouping is based on activity. Okay. So picking, we said we have dedicated areas. This, let's say it doesn't belong here. This let me say it doesn't belong to 800. I'll keep it here. Let's say it belongs to 8002. I'm really struggling with my keypad. So let's say it belongs to 8002. And then we need now activity area. Now we will revisit another activity. Okay. So we have created activity areas for picking because the work allocations to different group is done for performing the activity. Now let's say my put away, okay, which is like taking from GR zone to the 6 aisles. Now when we are designing the process, we are designing the layout. So when as part of the warehouse design, the team, they sit across on table and then they say, who's going to work where, what is going to be the direction of travel, because what we need is minimum travel plus people don't run onto each other. So the whole idea here is to make sure that the movements are designed, the routes are designed, there'll be markings on the floor, there'll be markings on big boards into the warehouse. So now the warehouse design is made for 8001. The design team, they're discussing how many people we need. So they agreed picking has to be per group of file, and there has to be a dedicated picker because the pick load is too much. A day, said Kabir and Shiva, they're totally busy with picking. Now, let's say put away is, they say, okay, now let's talk about put away. So how many pallets we're supposed to put away in a day? What is the plan? So they come across conclusion that for inbound, they just need one person. One person is enough because in inbound, we receive pallets in bulk, and number of pallets we receive a day, one picker is enough. One put away person is enough. Okay. So here, this is going to be the person who is going to do the put away, his direction of travel. Oh God, I want to move my cursor now. Come on. Okay, let me not, put some color here just to make you understand, to fix something with my system. Okay. So the person who is supposed to do put away, his direction of travel will be, he'll take the pallets from here. For anything he has to drop in aisle 1, he'll come and drop from the back side. He's not going into Sid's area, right? He's dropping from the back. Because Sid is picking in that area, he's dropping the pallets from the back. Then if any pallet is supposed to go to aisle 2 and 3, he's coming here, then he's traveling here, and then he's going between aisle 2 and 3, and he's dropping the pallet either in 2 and 3. And then if anything required in aisle 4 and 5, he's coming till here, and then he's going to drop between aisle 4 and 5. He'll travel between 4 and 5. He'll drop the pallets from the back side of aisle 4 and 5. Anything required for 6, he'll travel, and then he's going to drop the pallets in from the back of aisle 6. Okay. So now here, the one person is responsible. Let's say that one person does the put away. So now my question to you guys is, how many activity areas we need to create for put away?
4.
Okay. Any other guesses?
4.
Sorry, 4. I hear 4. Any other answers from anyone else? Anybody who wants to try? Sorry?
What is the question? Sorry.
How many activity areas we need to create for put away now?
For put away?
Yeah.
Activity area 1
Okay, 1.
was the one person who's doing all the activity.
That's correct. So the answer is 1.
Yes.
We don't need 4 because the person is having 4 routes, but the same person is doing it. So the work allocation or the pallet movement from GR area to all these 6 aisles, it can be any aisle, will be assigned to you. So it will be in one group. The whole storage type activity areas are created in one group for put away. So basically, what we are doing for put away, we are not splitting into zones. Okay. For put away, it is just one activity area.
Yeah, I combine both activity area, 3 for picking, 1 for.
Okay. No. So activity area always it will be with respect to the activity. Okay. So now SAP, if we create, see, you are free to create your own names, but general tendency is if it is one activity area, then we create with the same one activity area for the whole storage type. We created with the same code. So for put away, it is just one. So I'll create with the same code of storage type. That means the entire storage type bins are part of this activity area for part of this picking, part of this put away activity. Okay. For replenishment, also I don't need.
Sorry.
Can we take a pause for a minute? So this was the scenario where we have the 4 operators, dedicated operators who are working, 3 for the outbound and 1 for the inbound. Okay. Now there can be a scenario like where we have only one bay. Okay. And these are the 3 zones we have, the one like AA, S0001, K0001, and SI01. Right? So we have already, but these are the 3 persons who are responsible for the inbound and the outbound. So in that scenario, then activity area for the inbound need to be created separate, or the same activity area can be used.
So now, for example, see inbound, we created one activity area, and Johan is very busy. He's simply running around. We have the routes are finalized, but what we need to add another person in that area. Let's say Bridge. So Johan and Bridge build. Let's say there's pallet 1. Johan picks it up, goes to aisle 3. The next pallet is for aisle 6. So Bridge will take that pallet and he'll go to aisle 6. So we'll not split that activity area because Bridge and they are responsible for all the 6 aisles. But in that group, it's not necessary that only one person will work. You can have more person working in that group. So for example, if Sid is overloaded, we decide to have another person in that aisle. So another person can also work in that group. So work allocation can be done to one or more resource.
Work allocation, I got that one where I'm getting confused because here in the outbound process, what you did, you have defined the route for Sid, Kabir, and Shiva, right? Okay, but in inbound, I want the same rule to be implemented, so that the people work in allocated area, in allocated zones. Right now Johan and Bridge, the 2 people are there, but right now because we have not configured any new activity area, so they are free to move on a particular route, right? They can move to aisle 01. Okay, but the route is defined the way, and they can go to they can go to any of the location on the decided route in which they have to go.
Correct. So your question is, what if I need similar division on inbound as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can do that.
And so it has to be a separate activity area, or we can use the same activity area.
You can use the same activity area.
Yeah, that was.
And you can assign it for, or if you want, you can also create a different code. That it's up to your choice. Okay. So same activity area. If you create the same activity area, then Sid will do both picking and put away.
Yes.
Yeah, that is possible. Yeah.
You can, as per your command, the same one activity area we can assign multiple resources, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So see, generally these activity areas are used in picking. Because picking, we pick small quantities, and the load on the picking is more than inbound. So this example, it's very common and you see in many warehouses. For physical inventory, for stock change, you just create one at a storage type level, because for internal movement, the same person is responsible for the entire. There's no grouping for internal or physical inventory. There can be groups for replenishment, but yeah, we'll discuss that later. But just keep it simple at this stage in put away picking to understand this, because put away is very simple. You place the part, picking is remove the parts. Then see, now in a warehouse we have 8003, for example, which is a general area. We don't have aisles at all. We don't want to create groups at all because it's an open area. Pipes are kept, castings are kept on the floor. So what we'll do is we'll not split that area into separate activity areas. Okay. We will create just one area. So this is 8001. And for similarly, if I want to create for 8003, which is a general area, we don't need this kind of functionality for them. So for 8003, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do like this. Picking also, I'll just assign it to the same activity area. Oops. Okay. So 90% of your warehouse storage types, 90, or I would say there'll be 1 or 2 storage types, or maybe 5 or 6 where you will do this division maximum. But everywhere else, like staging areas, I told you activity area is mandatory. For staging areas, for doors, for work centers, you may not need this. You may or may not need this depending on your scenario, but most of the time you don't need them. Out of your, we have 6 or 8 storage type. I needed only for 1, for example. So, most storage type, most of the time, you have 1-to-1 assignment between storage type and activity area. So SAP has given a transaction. So since activity area is mandatory and you don't need for everywhere, so wherever there is 1-to-1 assignment, you can create it in one go. But there are 4-5 configurations here. 4-5 config nodes. 1-to-1 assignment will be quick one. It will be done by system. So 8003, I'll just run one transaction and activity areas will be created. Assignments will be done. Everything will be done. But for 8001, everything will be done, but I'll have to go and specifically change or maintain pick.
So very, very quickly, couple of questions for myself. So first of all, these pick put away, they are all functions, or they are activity you actually perform. So what you're saying is there is a node for each of these functions. So there's a node in SPRO, which is for related to picking, where you do these assignment.
Yeah,
is that correct?
There are nodes where you create an activity area, you assign the activity to an activity area, and then you assign those bins or the aisles
to activity. Okay. So that is what
that activity area.
Okay, and these activities are same. They're static for all the storage types. For an example, some of the storage type, I'm not doing some of these activities.
Yeah,
right?
So you may not need them, but you may get it in future.
Okay, so we'll see that. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So now, whenever there is 1-to-1 assignment in storage type and activity area, we call it as a generic activity area. We created, so 8003 is generic activity area. So we are going to create a same activity area for storage type as well as for the same activity area for all the activities of a storage type. Okay, so coming here, no, my touchpad is not working. I think we may have to, let's see, let me give a try, last try. Connect my mouse also. Okay, good. So I want to take you to the config where we create generic ones. Okay, and then we'll first, generally in a project, what we do is we create generic ones and then we kind of, make changes as and when required. So to start the project, at the start of the project, these details will not be known. What is an activity area and how many we need for inbound, outbound. So to start with, we just create a generic activity area for all the warehouse storage type. And then based on the discussions, we may, create few more here and there. So we'll first do the, general creation, and then we will come back to, 8001 and do the manual creation, manual changes based on our requirement.
But activities will be there by out of box, right?
Yeah, activities will be out of box.
Yeah, okay, activities are out of box. Because within the section, you will then further assign each particular activity to that.
Yeah, within a group of file.
Correct.
Let's do it based on idea. So group of file, I'll assign that this is SI01 for L1 and 2, like that I'll make an assignment.
But in your diagram, sorry, I'm just trying to get my understanding. In your diagram, in group IL1, you did both activity. You did a pickup as well, you did a put away as well. So you have 2 different activities, correct?
Yeah.
So you will assign for both.
Both. So
Okay.
basically, what we do is, as a standard practice, we assign all the 6 activities to the bins. So as of now, you may not do replenishment, but you may do that. So you don't have to do the config again. So the first config here is, to define activity area, then assign bins to an activity area. And there is something called a sorting. So sorting is, how do you sort the bins in an activity area? We'll see that all the 3 configs will maintain for 8001. But for now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a generic activity area for all the storage types. Okay. So for example, 8001. Okay. I'm not creating generic. You'll see I'm not maintaining the activity here. Just simply executing it. So it will create all the 6 activities. Just do a drop down here, so that you can see what are the activities in standard system. So internal, just park the above one. Internal inventory, picking, put away, replenishment, stock change. So cross-line put away is an activity especially for put away, where it's a special put away where you just, go one aisle, then split the other line, go to the other aisle. So you put your stock to your left, then to your right, then to your left, then to your right. So you do a put away in a crossway manner. So this is a special process we talk about in the inbound process, but these not used in all the warehouses. So not required, but it gets created with this template. So that's fine. It stays there, no worries. If you want, you can just delete this activity so that you don't create their activity areas. So like this, I'm going to create activity area, just simply run it. I'm just going to run it for all the storage types. So all, even doors, even staging areas, every storage type that I've created so far. And I'm going to create a generic activity area. So creation of generic activity area will be the first step in your projects also, because you may split, you may not split. The decision may not be in day one. So follow the same approach. It will be very useful for you.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Okay.
So is this the transaction you're running for generating the generic one?
Yeah.
And it's an internal number range or whatever
so this is
do.
It will create this activity area with the same name as
the same 8001 area. Okay.
1-to-1 as your storage type. So I'm going to do that for all. 328,004.
Are you clicking the execute, Johan,
Yes.
here? Because this is lag here.
No, it's not lag. I'm using my keyboard rather than my touchpad. It's behaving strange. 8005, 8006. Then I'm going to do the storage type 9010. Right, start from inbound staging area. Then to the work centers 8010, then 8020, then 8030, then outbound staging area 9020, then the doors 9030 and 9040.
Okay, here activity is not assigned, right?
Sorry?
Blank activity. Activity is blank.
Yeah, so it will do for all. It will create all the activities, all 6.
Oh, see, if it is a blank means system allow you to perform all the activities. Okay.
Yeah, it will maintain all the 6 activities for this activity area.
Okay. See, if we maintain that, the system allow only that particular activity, right?
Yes. If I just say pick, it is only going to create pick. That's it.
Okay.
The generic, we create everything. See, why I'm suggesting this way, because going and maintaining all 3 config, it becomes slightly a big task. Slightly.
Oh, got it. Got your point.
If you maintain this, your efforts are reduced. So now I've maintained, created activity areas for, I think, work centers, doors, staging areas, everything. So we'll stop here for 2. We'll come and we'll maintain individual configuration for 8001. So what it's what will also understand is there is something called as sorting. So let's say Sid is supposed to pick. Okay, so Sid, products should be, while he's picking the parts in these two aisles, there is a certain sequence which we want the system to, for Sid to pick. So I want him to, this way. So the picking should start from the back. He'll take his trolley, go to the back, and start picking from back to the front. So his movements will be like this.
Sorry, there's some background noise. Can we go and mute it? Thank you.
Okay. So the picking is done in a sequence, in certain sequence. So this is my, this is the bin sequence that I want Sid to follow, because, once he's picking, there is no point, if he picks from this bin with sequence 16 and then goes back, then pick this one, then comes here. He doesn't have to do back and forth. He starts from the back. While he's walking towards the GI zone, he should be proposed by system. Now it's this bin, pick this bin. Now once he picks, okay, now you're picked from bin 8. Now the next bin is bin 11. The next bin is bin 14, bin 16. So these are not bins. These are the bin sequences. So we assign bin with a sequence. Okay. So
sorry to interrupt. This sequence designed based on the stock removal rule, right? Based on the stock and.
No, that is different.
Oh.
So basically, we will create the storage type. We have created bins. Okay, we'll assign them to storage type. So how we do the bin assignment? So we have created bins, we have created activity areas, but the bins are not yet assigned to activity area. We need to perform sorting. Okay, in sorting, bins are assigned to activity area and bins are assigned to a sequence number. So for Sid, you can see it's a custom sequence number. Okay, so for example, this is the sequence number will be assigned to custom sequence number where he's going this way, to go pick. But let's say Kabir, he just follow this approach. First I'll pick everything for aisle 3, and then I'll pick everything for aisle 4, and so on, right? So for Kabir, it's like, it can be achieved through standard. He can follow this sequence and system can do the sorting for him. But for Sid, he's just going to pick everything of aisle 3, come back, and then he's going to start everything in aisle 4. So for Sid, it's going to be custom sorting. He'll give its own sequence. So we do that through upload program. But for Kabir, system will do this assignment. So it's very, basically what we need to see here is, how the picking, sequence of work is, how the bin names are. So based on that, we will decide whether we need a custom sorting or we will run standard sorting and see, if it fulfills our requirement. If not, so basically the bins should be assigned to numbers, whether those numbers are, matching to our requirement. This is the sequence they want to follow. If not, then we do a sorting, custom sorting, we do an upload, and we assign bin to a sequence number. So these are the two activities we'll cover, once we create activity areas, pick activity area for 8001. We're going to do the sorting.
Sorry to interrupt. See, actually, what is the significance of sequence number? Actually, I'm not getting properly.
So sequence number is the sequence in which the bins will be proposed for picking. So this bin should always be proposed first. If Sid is supposed to pick, he will pick from here first, then here. So his pick should be from this way, right? First this bin, then that bin. So when he's picking, he's not going to pick from one product. He's going to pick product from multiple bins. So his direction of travel will be based on his direction of travel. He should be picking first from this bin, then from this bin, then from this bin, then from 16, then from 21. It doesn't make sense,
Yeah. I got your point, but it should be depending on the stock removal, right?
No, why stock removal? Why? Did we discuss anything about stock removal rule so far?
No.
Then it's not related. If it is related, I'll bring it up. Don't get confused.
Okay.
Johan, with the current setup, just for sorting, just for preparation, everything is assigned to one activity area because there is only one activity area.
Yeah, at this stage.
Oh, at this stage. Correct. So currently free for all. Okay. And can I also just propose very quickly before, can we, given that we get access, can we take can we on Tuesday's call next week, can we just discuss, because I want to bring myself up to speed what we have done in terms of configuration, and can we do a Tuesday session for any open questions and any clarifications?
Sure, yeah, just you can ask questions any point of time. So what we'll do is,
I really don't want to go forward without doing some things. It's my way of understanding, right? I don't want to.
No, that's perfectly fine. What we'll do is, after this is the first weekend you guys are going to get access after
hopefully
2 weeks. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. So finish off till whatever we have covered so far, and yeah, first we'll start any open questions with your practice. You may see some error or something. So we'll start with those errors or issues, but my suggestion is don't wait till Tuesday. If at all you're getting any error, put them on the discussion board so that something may be quick. I can reply you and you can get going.
Sure. No, it's more for understanding purpose. I'm sure system is configured, because I don't want to be a keyboard warrior here. And I'll need to make sense in my own way to understand. I hope till the time it's not holding you up and others up, but if yeah.
So yeah, we will see. If there are too many questions, we'll park it till the end, and because it's only for you, and others can stay back if they want. But if it's something quick, 4-5 questions, we can cover.
So Ron, before you go, in the activity area which you have right now created with the helper program, can we look? They must be appearing somewhere in the configuration, right?
Yeah. So I'm just facing issue with my keyboard. So with my keypad. So yeah. So let's look into it, revisit all those 3 nodes. Okay. We will revisit what this config has done, and then we will change it.
Yeah. And I have one more question regarding to the business partner, Ron. Now, in the business partner, I have one system. When I'm trying to create a business partner, it is giving me error that your grouping is not assigned to the customer account group. Any clue on that?
Customer account group. So in your business partner config, we assign a group, customer account group. So basically, your business partner is, so there's a business partner group, but within that group, if you're trying to create a customer, so we have we have vendor account group, customer account group. I think the
FLCU, FLCUV01, the one.
These are roles. These are not group.
Okay.
Account group. When you remember when we do a XK01 or XD01.
Yes. You get accounting group you assign for the number range control.
Correct.
Yes.
So that account group has to be assigned in background. So it's trying to create in the background, it's trying to create a customer master, but it's not finding that account group. So based on that, the number range is not getting picked up. So there is a business partner config where you can assign this account group to a business partner role or maybe to a business group.
I did it pretty much, but still it is throwing me in. No worries. Yeah. I hope we'll get our system back, then we can.
Yeah, I can then show you here. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you.
And
I will. Okay. I'll ask somebody to send a notification once the access has been, extended. User ID has been extended.
Okay. Thank you.